Morning, folks. Welcome back. I'll try to be brief. It's 20 minutes past 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, which is the 12th day of March 2022. Just got finished watching a portion of the BBC World News. The BBC World News. Three things. One, Sleepy Joe. That worst fucking example we've ever had for President of the United States. Joe Biden has he's reinstated, told the Russians in the world he will not send American troops or equipment into Ukraine. I'm going to repeat that. Sleepy Joe, the President of the United States, has reinstated, now 20 minutes past 7 Nova Scotia time, it'd be noon hour British time, and 20 minutes past 6 in Washington, D.C. So you probably said it last night and I missed it, but it's being reported this morning Nova Scotia time. He's he's telling the Russians, by not sending, or even having a threat of sending U.S. Men and materials into Ukraine, that Russians, come and get it, boys. And speaking of boys, the troops coming to get it, early in the morning, I seen a piece before 7 o'clock. They interviewed a Russian that came back. He made $2,000. And when people speak of dollars, they're speaking of U.S. dollars. So the Russians are still selling oil to India, and they're selling it to China big time at discount. They're getting U.S. dollars. The Russian economy will be hurt by sanctions, but it will not collapse. North Korea's sanctioned old bejesus. It doesn't collapse. Cuba doesn't collapse. Okay? They take, and anyway, they're very difficult on the people, but the governments suck off what money's there, and they use it for their military and secret police. Anyway, back to make the point. Sleepy Joe Biden, the President of the United States, by saying he will not send U.S. troops or material, equipment in Ukraine. He's telling the Russians, come and get us. Come and get the boys. Go in. And now, they interviewed, this is a piece I seen earlier this morning after 6 o'clock and I got up. They take, and the guy, this Russian national, this Russian citizen, had made $2,000, that would be U.S. money, for fighting in Ukraine as a mercenary. He's not, and so if they get shot and mentioned, get killed, they don't count those numbers. Okay, but he made $2,000 as a mercenary fighting against the Ukrainian people for the Russian government. And one more thing, I hadn't heard this before, but it was on the BBC, and their stuff is pretty well checked out. They are now getting Syrian fighters. I watch the world news a lot. Okay, and they're getting Syrian fighters into Donetsk, and the next country starts at Al outside of Donetsk, and what would it be, the southeastern part of Ukraine that's already occupied by Russians as they try to take the rest of the country. But the people are fighting very strongly, and if some cities fall, that the best, they'll gain some cities, at the worst case scenario, they'll occupy the country in sections, but they will never have the hearts and minds of the people. There's a company called Moldova, and they're being overwhelmed with refugees. When I started doing these videos, this I think is my 11th or 12th video in Ukraine, there was something like 500,000 refugees from Ukraine, 400,000 in Poland and 100,000 mainly in Hungary and a few other countries. Then it was up to 1 million. As of this morning, it's up to 2.5. It's 2.5 million people. And they estimated it would go to 3 to 4 million. Well, the war's just heating up. I hate to use that expression, but it's only day 17, I believe, day 17. And there's 2.5 million refugees already. So this will be the biggest displacement of people in Europe. So the country of Moldova, it's a small country. The quote was, they're very good people. They're being overwhelmed with refugees from Ukraine. And Hungary now has, I think Poland, not mistaken, Poland, I believe, has about 1 million, and they're taking everybody, about 1 million people, and people are putting them up in their houses also. You get it for breakfast this morning, and some of you had breakfast already, and I should have had breakfast already, which I haven't, because I'm making this video. Anyway, they take, and so it's my fault, but they take, and thank God you live where you do. But boy, oh boy, when the most powerful country on the face of God's earth and you have the likes of Joe Biden saying, we will not send troops or equipment in. Even if they send equipment in, fighter jets, the Ukrainians are very capable cats. They're very capable cats. Give them a bag of potatoes and they grow their own. Give them a bit more armaments they can send whip the Russians packing. But they will be brutal. The Russians understand only one thing: brute force, sheer brute force. They will reduce, I repeat, it's not a pleasant thought, they will reduce Ukrainian cities, and they attacked children's hospital recently, schools before that, bombed a school. They'll reduce the area to rubble, to dust, as they did in northern Syria, and as they did in Chechnya. And they did it in Georgia, too. This is not their first time at rodeo. They did it in Georgia back in 2000 and some. They did it in 2010 or 11 in Chechnya. They did it in northern Syria with the Syrians, in northern Syria in 2013, 2014. This is their fourth time doing this. And if the world stands by and watch this here, it's shame on us. Shame on us. With that, I got to go. It's John Pettipas. I said I'd be brief, and I'm at the 7 or 8 minute mark now. So share the video around. All the best. God bless. Get a good breakfast yourselves. And remember, tonight, change your clocks back an hour so you're not late for church tomorrow. It's a shame I get backwards. Spring forward. I get to backwards. Excuse me. It's spring forward. Spring forward, fall backwards. So tonight you go to bed. You're already asleep technically by 1 hour because when it's 11 o'clock you go to bed, it'll actually be 12 midnight. So change the clocks 1 hour ahead tonight, folks. Daylight saving time tomorrow. Thank you. Again, all the best. Bye. Bye for now.